everybody, Joe Joseph here. This is the DailySheeple.com Daily News Brief. My. Well, Black Friday's come and gone. The running of the Sheeple, my favorite time of the year. Yes, my Super Bowl, and wouldn't you know it? And it's kind of a shame in a way. In other ways, gives me a little bit of hope for humanity. Yahoo News reporting that U.S. Thanksgiving Black Friday store sales fall. But online sales are on the rise. Hey. So, like I said, according to Siddharth Cavalli, says sales and traffic at U.S. brick-and-mortar stores on Thanksgiving Day and Black Friday declined from last year as stores offered discounts well beyond the weekend and more customers shopped online. Internet sales rose to double digits on both days, surpassing $3 billion for the first time on Black Friday. This according to data released on Saturday. Now, data from analytics firm RetailNext showed net sales at brick-and-mortar stores fell a whopping 5% over the 2 days, while the numbers of transactions fell 7.9%. Preliminary data from the retail research firm Shoppers Track showed that shoppers' visits to stores fell a combined 1% during Thanksgiving and Black Friday when compared to the same time in 2015. So interestingly enough, what we're seeing is, as we would expect, as technology advances, you're seeing the doing away with the brick and mortar business and really everything kind of shifting to a more online presence. Now, for stores like Walmart or Best Buy or other large retailers where you might have a large brick and mortar presence, but you also have a large online presence, I would think that they really aren't too concerned from that standpoint. And it does my heart a bit of good to know that Black Friday and the fight over $5 toaster ovens it's waning. And that's good. I don't know, maybe people's avatars will fight over $5 toasters for online battles. Maybe they'll have like Mortal Kombat when it comes to Black Friday deals. I don't know. But what I can say is, at least, it looks like there's a decline in people's ability to be able to go out and act in an animalistic, materialistic, dehumanized fashion, which gives me a little bit of hope. Now, the downside is, well, there is no downside, because I'm glad that people are embracing that technology. And I'm glad that people are going online and deciding, hey, you know what? I'm not going to go waste my time waiting at 2 a.m. or camping out the night before for one of 3 flat screen TVs that 4,000 people are waiting for. You know, at least a little common sense is starting to kind of bubble to the surface, which is good. Now, it says net sales on Black Friday slid 10.4% for brick and mortar chains from last year. So this tells us something. And what it tells us is that people know, at least in my guesstimation, that it's probably not the safe thing to do to go and splurge for the holidays, because it's like I've said in the past. Most people have never felt a recovery from 2008. Never have. We've never really recovered. Oh, the rich have. Wall Street has. But Joe Schmuckatelli? No, none of us have. So we continue to feel that pinch. And you have to remember, too, that a lot of the things that got us into trouble in 2008, they're doing all over again. Easy credit, mortgages, your Bobo loans, all coming back again. And they're doing it full circle. So looking at the data, it would suggest that people are already overextended. And now we're running into what could be the start of a credit crunch. And so the question now should be, what is the Trumpster going to do? Because as people went and they started getting credit again and they started spending again, which gave us our minuscule growth that we've seen, now people are probably getting to that tapped out point again. And you're talking about a president that wants to raise the interest rates. He doesn't want to go negative. He doesn't want to keep them at zero. He wants to get somebody in there with a monetary policy that talks about raising interest rates. And when you do that, you're going to put a freeze on the available credit out there. And it's going to slow the economy down, because our economy is not based on smart living. It's based on consumerism, right? It's based on consumption. And so if people aren't consuming, the economy stops chugging along. And people have stopped consuming now for a while, which is why you see the tepid growth, because it's just people just can't do it anymore. They're overextended. Look at the data. Also, look at the amount of college students coming out of college that are A, not able to get a job, and B, are saddled with so much debt that when they do come out and they're all excited, oh, yeah, all right, look at me, I got this nice job, I'm all set to go, kapow, student loan time. Where's the money? Oh, it's all going to the government. It's a racket. So, I mean, these are the things that are happening. So it's no surprise that sales on Black Friday, at least on the brick and mortar side, have slid. But I would predict that as time goes on, you're going to see a steady decline in the amount of people being able to purchase things because their purchasing power has eroded. Just food for thought. SHTFplan.com has a great story about the fake media that it just so happens to be SHTFplan.com, and the Daily Sheeple happen to be fake, apparently, according to the Washington Post. It says SHTF Plan and other alt media are now being targeted as sophisticated Russian propaganda tools. That's right. That's right. Because, you know, I guess Vlad pays somebody well. We haven't seen anything, but hey, roger that. Zero Hedge. We mirrored Zero Hedge's post here. It says, and here's an editor comment from Mac. He says, as creepy as it is that the official mouthpieces of the state are attempting to clamp down on the alternative media and doing their damnedest to silence dissent, especially online, it's nice that SHTF Plan wasn't overlooked, as in earlier, more clumsily and incomplete lists. Thank you. Now, on a more serious note, he says, the establishment is running wild with accusations with nothing substantial to back them up. Of course, it's ad hominem attack. That's what they do. Doesn't necessarily have to be true. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story, folks. But as long as they can put it out there, they see what sticks. They throw it against the wall. If it sticks, great. If it doesn't, we got other stuff in the arsenal. And it says, on a more serious note, the establishment is running wild with accusations with nothing substantial to back them up and ridiculously out of touch points of view, seemingly because Hillary lost the election and the powers that be have been put on guard, shall we say? So prepare for dark times ahead, Max says, and watch carefully for the repression. It has already begun. Many sites have been taken down, removed, or have been hit with copyright claims in connection with reporting on Pizzagate allegations related to the leaked Podesta emails. WikiLeaks itself has gone dark. Rumors abound that Julian Assange is dead, and its contributors are warning not to send in whistleblower information as their chain of custody has been compromised. Isn't that interesting? So there's a whole lot of stuff going on. The Daily Sheeple was shut down for 72 hours for a copyright claim on a Instagram picture that was a picture of the Instagram picture. It was a screenshot of a screenshot. I mean, it was unbelievable. But we were shut down for 72 hours. And it wasn't a standard copyright claim. They went directly to the hosting company, which is very uncommon, doesn't normally happen. So with regards to Pizzagate, we certainly struck a nerve. But now, my friends, now it's become a citizen reporting function. It's gone past the alternative media. Now people are so interested in finding everything they can about it that it's gone past the media now. And now you have everybody's become like a private investigator, if you will. So there's really no way they can stop this at this point, at least in my guesstimation, minus a perhaps false flag attack that takes out the internet everywhere. And I just don't see it happening. But anyway, Tyler Durden, Zero Hedge, says the desperate, flailing mainstream media struggling through the 5 stages of grief continues as no lesser unbiased foundation of the Fourth Estate than the Washington Post pushes ahead with its fake news, blaming Russia, their narrative, for why their candidate failed so miserably. Citing 2 teams of independent researchers who surely have a substantial libel litigation provision, who found Russia's increasingly sophisticated propaganda machinery echoed and amplified the right-wing sites across the internet as they portrayed Clinton as a criminal. No, because she's not, right? The Jeff Bezos-owned website named Drudge, Zero Hedge, the Ron Paul Institute, SHTF Plan, the Daily Sheeple, and countless others among the useful idiots that true American patriots should be wary of. In the wake of the election, fake news and its spread on social media has come into the spotlight. For our latest thoughts on the topic, there is a thank you note that Zero Hedge posted on their website. Check it out, because it was really good. And President Obama even denounced the attention garnered by false information last week when he said this, quote, "If we're not serious about the facts and what's true and what's not, if we can't discriminate between serious arguments and propaganda, then we have problems." Look no further than CNN and MSNBC and Fox News and ABC and NBC and CBS and all of the print media and all of all these personalities that belong to who? The Council on Foreign Relations. And what is, my friends, what is the golden rule of the Fourth Estate of media? What is it that we're supposed to do? Number 1, always follow the truth, because the truth is the story. Rule number 2, don't get involved with any entangling alliances that may inhibit you from following rule number 1. That's the only 2 rules. So, if those are the only 2 rules, these people can't even get those right. So at least the alternative media is trying to do its thing by staying true to those rules. And in doing so, guess what? We've exposed a festering sore on the ass of Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. And they don't like it. And that festering sore just happens to be a Podesta that just so happened to, have all his emails leaked all over reality and creation. I mean, it's just the way it is. And because of that, who's vilified? Not them. They're not held to account. Why, no. You have a site called Proper Not, Propaganda or Not, really, that identified more than 200 websites that routinely pushed Russian propaganda. Is this not McCarthyism at its finest? Unbelievable attack on the First Amendment in this country. And who the hell can tell me or anyone else what's media and what's not? Define media. What is the true definition of media? It's not a news outlet. Media can be anything. Why do you think they call like a CD? It's a form of media. A compact disc, a cassette. It is a way to transfer knowledge from one place to another. It is media. And with the Smith-Mundt Act repeal, not that they weren't pushing propaganda before, but it gave the government and the mainstream media carte blanche on pushing U.S. propaganda, authorized propaganda. God forbid, and I think they're pissed. They're pissed because the Russians are playing their silly little game. And they're not doing it by openly funding all of these alt media sites. No. What they're doing is they're reporting the truth in the country that doesn't want the truth reported. So all they're doing is doing the job that the media was supposed to do in the first place, but they're not doing it, see? And they've labeled some really, really decent sites out here. Like, for example, David Stockman. David Stockman I think he was a part of the Department of the Treasury. He does some great analysis of the economy. David Stockman, he's on MSNBC all the time. Well, apparently he's funded by the Russians now. Michael Snyder, he's a commie. Let's see here. Oh, Ron Paul. Ron Paul, you commie, you. Oh, comrade. SHTF plan. Truth Dig. Truth Dig is a leftist site. You would think that they'd be all up at, hey, no. Nope. Lou Rockwell. Liberty Blitzkrieg, one of my favorite sites. Look at you, you commie, you. There's so many of them out there. But you want to know something? At the end of the day, what's this about? It's about the fact that they don't want accountability. And this Prop or Not, there is no accountability for it because everybody's totally anonymous. You don't know who's involved. They're totally anonymous. You don't know where they're located. Everything's private. There's no trace of anything. But they can just throw a site up there with a bunch of websites and slander the hell out of everybody and libel the hell out of everybody, all these sites. But where's the accountability? Okay, now they slandered SHTF plan. They slandered the Daily Sheeple. So now, how do we have recourse against them? How do we do it? Now you have to sue the hosting company of Prop or Not for that information and hope a federal judge actually goes through with it. And then once you get that information, you've got to be able to identify the owner and sue the owner. It could take years. It will take years. They'll drag it out. It's unbelievable. Meanwhile, according to the New York Times, Hillary Clinton's team has joined Jill Stein in, all of a sudden, Jill Stein was able to come up with like $4 million in a month to push all these recounts for the election. Where did she just get that? I mean, just all of a sudden, poof, hey, here's $4 million. Okay, well, let's just do the, and Hillary Clinton was like, hey, wow, Jill, hey, what a coinky-dink that you just got $4 million to push this. So we're going to go along with you so that we can make sure that it's fair. Yeah. What this was is the Clinton campaign paid off Jill Stein. Just like they paid off Bernie Sanders and bought him that summer home, Jill Stein just got a payday. And to be a good crony, what did Jill Stein do? Well, let's trigger a bunch of recounts. Not that it's going to change anything, but you never know. So very interesting that Jill Stein went down that road and sold out. The last person that I saw that ran, there was two people that ran in 2004, I believe, that actually embodied everything that I held dear with regards to what I'd see in a candidate for president or what I'd hope for. Even Ron Paul in 2008 and 12. I mean, no doubt. I mean, Ron Paul was probably the last hoorah. But in 2004, a good friend of mine, Michael Badnarik, ran for president as the Libertarian Party candidate. And you want to talk about a gentleman of honor, of esteem, of courage, of commitment. That guy was and is today still just, you want to talk about somebody you want in that Oval Office, he's one of them. Also Chuck Baldwin. I would love to see Chuck Baldwin get in and actually get some stuff done, you know, but you'll never see it because good people like that are pushed to the side. And most good people wouldn't want to be caught dead in the Oval Office because of who you're surrounded by and where it's located. It's in Mordor. Would you want to live there? I mean, I don't know. So it's interesting that Jill Stein sold her soul, and whether or not she admits it, hey, she's got to go to sleep at night. But it's very interesting that the Green Party just kind of happened upon $4 million in 1 month after the election for a party that, garnered 1 to 2% of the vote? Very, very suspicious indeed. So, tune in tomorrow for the next exciting fake news report brought to you by thedailysheeple.com. And I hope you all have a pleasant Monday. See you real soon. Take care.